Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. I've no idea why it says streaming error. I don't know. Me and technology. Anyway, good morning. Morning, Artsman. Morning, Haley. Morning, Faisal. How are you all doing? I am sat here with a blanket around my shoulders. It is so freaking cold here in the UK. I've just checked the temperatures, and we are currently 0 degrees with the possibility of a high of 4 degrees Celsius this afternoon. So, I'm not sure we're going to be able to cope with the heat, but oh my god, it is freaking cold. So, yeah, I'm not ashamed to admit I dug out the thermals this morning. They're on. And I don't care because I would rather be warm. It is so cold. Busting out the long johns. Yeah, absolutely. The long johns are on. I just don't have the flappy bit around the bottom that you can sort of pull open. A lot of snow fell yesterday. We did have snow. When I was walking Rosie, we had snow, but it didn't settle. It just it fell, and it was nice to be out walking in the snow, but it just fell to the ground and then just sort of melted. So, yeah, nothing great happened for us with the snow, which is always really disappointing here. It just never seems to settle. But, oh my goodness, it is so cold. It is so cold. Right. Oh, I don't know why I'm yawning. I had such a good sleep. Still got a lot of snow on the grass, but on the paths there's not much. Well, it's more than what we've got. Oh, don't look at my nails. I really couldn't be bothered to redo my nail varnish this morning. I'm rocking the grunge look today. Well, I don't know about rocking it, but wearing it anyway. So I'm just going to work a little bit on this Wolfie's sort of chest and body, and then I'm going to make a start on some of these trees and things. Getting blood work done this morning, and I'm fasting. I hate not being able to eat. Oh my god, that is the worst when you have to have a blood test done in the morning. It's fasting one. You can't have a cup of tea. You can't have a cup of coffee. You can't eat. Do you do that thing where when you go to the doctors, you have a snack in the car or like a flask of a hot drink in the car, and the second you get out, you sort of guzzle it down? Because that's what we do. I've not had to have a fasting blood test for a long time, but that's what I would do. I would take something with me. It is 18 degrees Celsius currently, and you're freezing. Faisal, that's a nice warm day for us. Oh Oh, you can have black coffee, pretty much. Oh, well, you're lucky. They don't let us have anything like that over here. If you're having like a fasting test, it's like you can have water. That is it. No black coffee, no black tea, water. Not even bread. No. Nothing. 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 If you're fasting, you're fasting, and that's pretty much it. When I was sick a while back for a day, I didn't eat and lost like 5 pounds. Yeah, well, that will happen. Yeah. It happens like your body just sort of, like if you're not eating, your body will instantly start using the reserves that it already has in your body. So it would take any of that water weight, it would take any of the fat that it can get to and instantly take. And then after about 24 to 48 hours, and you're still not eating, it will be like, hang on a second, no, we shouldn't be using these reserves as quickly as we're using them. We need to slow down, and that's why you will always plateau. You'll lose a lot to begin with, and then you will plateau because your body's just like, no, we can't use these reserves. And it will take it from you because it needs to survive on something to have, to keep you functioning and stuff, but it goes at a much slower rate. So you will always lose quickly to begin with, and then it's like when people diet. That's why you should never diet. It's when I say diet, I mean people who really, really restrict their calories and stuff, because your body will initially go into this panic mode and start using reserves, and people are like, oh, the diet's working, I've lost 7 pounds. And then a couple of weeks later, they'll be like, I just don't understand why it's not going down anymore. And it's like, it's because your body is like, it knows it's not getting enough, and it just sort of pauses. I mean, it comes down to a lot of factors. Obviously, there's metabolism, there's, how physically active you are, and there's a lot of conflicting factors in there. But basically, that's my understanding of what happens. And I'm happy to be corrected if I'm wrong, before anyone jumps on and has a go. Good to know. I don't believe in diets. I just think everything in moderation. Everything in moderation. Portion sizes. Keep yourself active. I think I was lucky growing up though that I had quite my mom was never one of those women that was like always on a diet or anything like that, and I never quite understood the whole dieting thing because obviously when I was little I had undiagnosed celiac disease, so I was incredibly underweight anyway. And my problem was I couldn't put weight on. I had like the opposite problem. I was like I couldn't understand how other people could eat like two biscuits in the evening and suddenly they've put on 3 pounds, and I was like, how do you do that? How? That doesn't happen for me. Why doesn't that happen for me? And of course didn't realise obviously that my digestive tract was screwed up
Billy,
and wasn't
we know you had
absorbing
high hopes of
anything.
uploading your cosplay videos, but your last broadband provider's loading wheel of death crushed those hopes. So you told yourself, it was just a silly
I was always
video
trying to work out how to put
a
weight
silly
on.
video you only edited 133 times, so stop
It's
being
probably
silly,
why my
Billy,
schoolmates
and put
hated
full fiber,
me.
award-winning hyper-optic broadband in your corner. Now you share that Labrador
No, I was just
Cosmo
different
with
because
your
I was
neighbor.
so thin and skinny. It was like that made me
Available in 64 towns and
different,
cities.
and that's what made me stand out, and so that's why I got bullied and things, because I was the little pale skinny kid that always did what the teacher said, so I was like considered the teacher's pet. And it was just like, oh, she's so skinny and she's so pale and she looks anorexic and stuff, and so I got picked on for that. Kids can be cruel. You got bullied too, you was shy. I mean, at the time when you are a kid, it's like it's the worst thing possible, and all you want to do is like fit in. Because when you're at school, it's like everyone needs to be in uniform, everyone needs to be the same, everyone needs to be taught the same thing, and it's all about making you all the same. When in reality, everyone's individuals, right? And as a kid, you want to fit in because you want to be like everyone else because you think it's the worst thing possible. And then as a grown-up, you realise that no, sod that. I'd much rather be an individual. I'd much rather be weird. I'd much rather have my weird interests and be unique and stand out from everyone else. It's this really weird mind shift that goes on. That school tries to make you into this sort of like uniformed automaton, that you all write the same way, you've all got the same handwriting, that you all think the same way, and it's like it's that thing about if you could go back and tell yourself as a child like a message, it'd be like, don't worry so much about what happens at school. I mean, it's like, geez. But at the time, it's like it's your whole world. And you just want to fit in so badly and not be picked on and stand out from the crowd. You just want to fit in. And then you get to be an adult and you're like, no, it's not that crap. Nicolette's pearls of wisdom. This is not wisdom. This is just... this is stuff I just wished I'd known as a kid, you know? It was like... I always look for the group of odd ducks in social settings. Those are my people. Exactly! You see, this is why this is why when I talk about like Big Bang Theory, like the characters that are on Big Bang Theory, right? They're nerds, they're geeks, they like Dungeons and Dragons, they like Star Trek and science fiction and all those great movies that used to be around as a kid, like Flight of the Navigator and E.T. and stuff like that. I used to love that stuff. I used to love it. I used to love watching Tales of the Unexpected and X-Files, and everyone else was watching like Falcon Crest and Dallas and Dynasty and soap operas, and I was like, no, where's my Blake Seven? Where's my Doctor Who? Where's my Tomorrow People? Where's my Lost in Space? You know, all that was my stuff. And I felt like I couldn't talk about that stuff because no one else was into that stuff. Yes, Star Trek. Star Trek were my people. I loved Star Trek. I'm more of a Trekkie than I am into Star Wars. I'm a confirmed Trekkie, absolutely. Loved the relationship between Spock and McCoy, but I didn't have people who I could talk to about that. It was like, girls weren't meant to like Star Trek in the, you know, early 80s when I was growing up. Where is it? No, wrong way. There we go. Live long and prosper. Yeah, absolutely. So, but if only I'd known that it was absolutely fine to talk about that stuff. Don't be so worried about it. Be you, do you. The things that make us unique and the things that make us weird are the things that make us wonderful. Herein endeth the lesson. Have I ever been to a convention? No, but I would love to go to one. There's never anything like that where I am. I think to go to an actual proper Star Trek convention, I would have to travel. And I am not a good traveller, so I don't... whoever gifted you a sub, thank you. It was probably Faisal. Faisal's gifted a lot of subs. I would love to go to a convention or something like that. I would love to go to like a Comic-Con one day. I would love that. Absolutely love that. But I very much doubt that that is going to happen. You know, unless one comes to like London or something. But I would love to meet like, I think William Shatner, obviously, because he's probably like the only one left. There's George Takei, isn't there? So he's still around. I'd love to meet them too. I would love to meet everyone from Next Gen. I really like... I think I'd also like a convention that I'd really like to go to would be like Stargate. I loved Stargate. Loved Stargate SG-1, the whole series, movies. I love Stargate Atlantis. All the different, you know, like spin-offs and things like that. I would love to go to something like that because that would make the inner nerd in me, the inner geek, so happy. Amanda Tapping was your jam. Well, I liked Daniel. I liked Daniel in the movie when he was played by the very young James Spader, because James Spader, when he was a young man, was very, very nice. And then the guy who played Daniel in the TV series, I really liked him. But I liked the guy that played the captain. His name's escaping me. Richard somebody. It was a good part for James Spader back then. It was a really, really good part for him. And he played it so well. I mean, I love him even today in like the Blacklist and everything. But you know, there was something about him when he was young, when he had all that sort of floppy hair and those little round glasses. Because I very much prefer like the what we would call the beta hero, the nerd, the Clark Kent sort of types. People who are clever. People who are clever. That's and that's why I like Sherlock and things, because it's like there's an intelligence there. But I get the whole Amanda Tapping thing. I do. I knew quite a few guys who thought that she was very nice. Clever girl. Yes, absolutely. My favourite in Stargate Atlantis is the Doctor in that. What's his name? Not the Doctor. He's like the cowardly. What's his name? I haven't watched it for such a long time, so it's escaping me. Stargate Atlantis cast. Let's have a look. Rodney McKay, played by David Hewlett. Rodney McKay. He was like my favourite because he was almost like the comedy role, and he was like a coward, but showed these moments of courage. How about Night Court with Bull? No, that's drawing a blank, I'm afraid. Night Court with Bull. What's that? I'm really trying to think what that means, but nothing is clicking. So have you ever been to a convention then? Has anyone ever been to sort of like a convention, like a Comic-Con or anything like that? It must have been an American show. It was a late night comedy series a while back. No, I've never heard of it. About a graveyard shift. Night Court. Good stuff. Okay. Interesting. I always imagine that going to like a Comic-Con though, or a convention, is just going to be like so hard, because there's just going to be so much stuff there that I'd want to buy. I'd be like, oh, I've got to have that t-shirt. Oh, I've got to have that t-shirt. Oh, I've got to have this sign. And I would just end up spending so much money that I shouldn't. I think having to sort of be really picky about what you chose to spend your money on would be really difficult. Went to a small convention with my friends, a role-playing one, dressed up and everything. Well, of course, my next question is going to be, what did you dress up as? Because I was about to say, if anybody went to a convention, did you dress up? So, I don't know who I would dress up as if I went to a convention. I would have to go as... If I went to a Stargate one, I think I would dress up as a Wraith because they looked cool. And so, yeah, I think I'd go as a Wraith. If I went to a Star Trek convention, who would I go as? I don't know. I was going to say Q from the Q Continuum, but they don't look like anything in particular. You went as a Dark Wizard. Had a staff with a deer skull on it. Oh my god, that's amazing. Have you got... You must have a picture. You must have taken a photo. If you've got a photo, please put it on the Discord so we all can see. That would be very cool. Right, okay, so I think I'm going to leave the wolves and I'm going to start going on to the trees and stuff. So, I'm going to need that. Let me have a look at the colour. Actually, I might go in with this colour first and then... I go in dark afterwards, can't I? Hear Rosie bark. Oh, Rosie is barking downstairs because she's getting very upset over the fact that Badger, one of our cats, he got a wound on his face. And it was just a small cut originally. But every time he stopped to scratch his face, he kept opening it up and opening it up and opening it up. And this wound was getting bigger and bigger. And so yesterday we got him a cone of shame. And we didn't want to put it on him overnight, so we decided to do it first thing this morning. So we've put the cone of shame on him, and Rosie, our dog, who is Badger's best friend, doesn't like it. So she keeps barking at him all the time, literally non-stop. And when she's not barking at him, she is gently grabbing hold of the cone with her teeth and trying to pull it off his neck. So we've had to separate the dog and the cat, and because they're best friends, the cat is on one side of the door meowing and the dog's on the other side of the door barking, and it's it's chaos. It's just I'm not sure where that pic went. This was in my 20s or teens even. I can post one I did more recently. Yes, absolutely. Dressed up for the heck of it. Yes, go for it. Hey Natalie, how are you? I can hear Mango barking as well now, so God knows what's going on downstairs. She wasn't barking earlier. It's all fun and games in our house with pets. Jeez. Good. I'm glad that you're good. Are you working today, Natalie? Actually, I just want some of this burnt sienna in here because it's quite a reddy brown in this tree. It's posted a frog holding a spoon and having a tantrum. I'm just trying to think where you came up with such a random suggestion. Okay, I would do that in a minute. Hang on, let me just go and have a look at this picture. Oh my gosh. That is very cool. You look very proud. You look very proud in that picture. Sort of like, here's my stuff. What are you going to do about it? Right, okay, let me just grab a bit of paper. Yes, I'm about to go on a quest. What of it? That's what it looks like in that picture. I like it. Very cool. Thank you for sharing. Right. A frog holding a spoon and having a temper tantrum. Okay. Why? Where did this suggestion come from, Natalie? I feel that there's something behind this. Or is this just something random that you just came up with? Because I'm like... I don't know how to draw a frog. What does a frog look like? What does a frog look like? Jesus! That looks more like a monkey. No, sorry, no, that looks more like a monkey. No. I'm going to have to Google a frog. An arson frog. What's an arson frog? Surely an arson frog is something that sets things on fire. I googled angry frog and let me just show you what it showed me. does look kind of like he's having a bad day, right? Right, okay. Angry frog. Let's look at these angry frogs. Clip art. Clip art. Angry frog. Okay, I was kind of on the right lines. With the eyes. Right, let's do this little fella then. Right, so. You put the inspiration in Discord. Alright, okay, let me have a look. Where have you put it? Oh, I see. Arson frog sticker. Okay. But he hasn't got a spoon, and he isn't having a tantrum. But okay. Don't know why this is supposed to look like a frog, but here we go. Let's give him a little hand. Let's give him a spoon. This bit I'm making up, obviously, because I'm not making up the rest of it. He's got a very weird body, hasn't he? But this is what it's saying to do. Give him a big belly. Little bits to signify movement. That doesn't look anything like a freaking frog. Hang on. Let's try. They both seem to have the same mouth, but this is completely different sources here. Seem to like giving them these bellies. Oh, he's not kind of holding a spoon. Let's have a spoon here. Wonky spoon. It's a wooden spoon. There you go. Does that count as an angry frog having a... It's got a spoon. That was a difficult one. That was difficult. Tested my limits. I tell you what, I started watching. I saw a review of it, and they said it was really good. And I'm about 20 minutes into it at the moment, and it's a film on Netflix, and it's a foreign film, so it's all subtitled, and it's called Society in the Snow, or Society of the Snow, and it's based on a true story of a Uruguayan team, a rugby team, I think it is, who they crash in the mountain range in the snow, and that's as far as I know. But the actual, it's horror thriller, so right up my strata. But the actual scene of what happens inside the plane during the crash had me this is really good, had me smiling, because I was like, yes, finally really sort of, normally you just see the outside of the plane and bang, crash, wallop, skid along the snow sort of thing, and then you usually get survivors sort of like crawling out of the wreckage. But no, this showed what was going on inside the plane and everything, and it made my dark little soul very happy. So if anyone else likes that sort of stuff, Society of the Snow, or Society in the Snow, it's on Netflix at the minute. So I was watching it just before I started stream this morning. Right, now, does all of this tree have the red going all the way up? No, it doesn't. It's just mainly at the bottom. Right, okay. I can't believe we're actually working on the trees already. It's like, I just felt like, for a time there, I felt like I'm just going to be on these wolves forever, trying to get the fur right on these wolves. I've done... I don't think I'm finished with the wolves, but I want to get in... I've gone as far as I could take them at the minute. So I'm going to do the trees and, you know, the sticks and the bushes and everything that's around them. And then once I've got that in, and have got in the snow, which I will do off stream because there's nothing more boring than trying to watch me draw white on white, because you can't see it, you can't see what I'm doing, not really. I will come back to the wolves after everything else is filled in, just so that I can see where I need to balance more of the colour and shading and things like that. So just as I normally do, I get other things in around the picture focus. Just to see what else it needs. But I mean, this is I don't normally do backgrounds, as you know. I don't normally fill in the flora, the backgrounds, but I decided I wanted to on this picture. So let's have a look, see. Just sort of trying to get in some of these darker. It's darker at the ground, and then you have like these rough crevices that are in the tree, just to sort of add texture to the bark and things. So just adding in little shadows so that it's not just one flat colour. You want that texture and the roundness to the tree. You want that surface. Oh, excuse me. Right, okay, so next section. Alright, so I've got quite a bit of green here. So I'm about up to here. The brown goes about here. Brown goes to about here. Right, okay. I'm just going to shade in this very light with the brown, just to sort of like underpaint, undercolour, whatever you want to call it, before I add in the darks. I just need to take away that pencil mark on the edge. My God, the sun's coming out. I wonder if we're getting that 4 degrees Celsius that we've been promised. I tell you what, it was so cold in our house yesterday afternoon though. I came downstairs at one point and Nick was sat on the sofa and he was all sort of wrapped up and he was like, I'm freezing. I said, well, come out for a walk with me then. I said, if we go out for a walk and go out for about a 30-40 minute walk, which is what I normally do with Rosie, I said, by the time we get back, we'll be really sort of hot within our coats, and when we get in the house won't feel cold. But he didn't come with me, so I went for the walk and had a lovely walk in the snow. I can't remember the last time I actually had a walk in the snow, and it was just so nice. And where we were, the roads were very, very quiet, because I was going through sort of like back roads and little lanes more than anything else, and so there wasn't really any traffic, and so it was really quiet. And you know that thing where obviously when snow falls, it's quiet. Unlike rain, when rain's coming down, you hear it, don't you? But when snow's coming down, there's just this silence about it that's just quite magical. And with no cars, and there wasn't really many people about, and all I could hear literally was Rosie panting and her feet hitting the floor and my feet hitting the floor, and it was just so nice. But by the time we got back, really, really warm. And so I felt absolutely fine, but Nick was like, oh my god, it's freezing. Right, this bit here and this bit here I've got to make up completely, because in the actual picture, here I'll show you, in the actual picture there is a dog body and there's an extra dog nose, because there's an extra animal here that I chose not to fill in, and I decided not to put that bit into the picture, so I'm just going to make this bit up. Oops, what have I just clicked on the computer? Hang on, let's move that. So that's something you're allowed to do as an artist. You can choose which bits to include and which bits you don't want to include. You don't have to copy exactly. And I just thought it would just clean up the image just a little bit if we had this gap. Because there's a lot of browns, there's a lot of greys, I thought if we had an extra nose to an animal you can't really see, and a fluff of grey fur just sticking up out of nowhere here, it's just going to look a little bit weird. Oh, I'm yawning again, excuse me everybody. So just making it up. Thinking about how to do that greenery that comes over the trunk. Not sure. So what time do you get to go for your blood test, Artsman? How much longer have you got to wait before you're allowed to eat and drink? Hear Rosie barking at Badger again, bless her. I'm sure she's going to drive us bonkers by the end of the day with all this barking. Take Badger out of that thing. Um. Hmm. Right, so here we have like this bit goes down here. There's a bit that comes down here. It's almost like a bone shape. Let's put that bit in, and this bit here. I'm just sort of trying to put in those rough puff bits of the tree. There is a section here. Okay, and then we have quite a big section here. It's quite dark. Okay, then oh, Rosie. Poor thing. She must be wondering what is this thing that you've put on poor Badger's head. I mean, Rosie's had to wear the cone of shame herself, but she's like, and looked really miserable while she had it. It was when we had her spade, she had to wear it. But I think it's a different perspective when you wear it yourself than seeing someone else, another animal in the family wearing it. She's like, what on earth are you doing to Badger? Excuse me. All of this is quite dark. Oh, if that's my brother again. Oh my gosh. I had my middle brother call me last night, and we just sort of had to help him out with something that he didn't quite understand. He has a learning disability. He lives on his own, And for a long time we didn't even think that that would sort of like be possible. I can remember my parents worrying about that a lot when we were younger, but he's done very well, and he sort of lives on his own, but he gets very rigid thinking sometimes. And guys, it's going to be him, I just know it. And sometimes he's very good at trying to solve a problem that he has all by himself. He will always try and solve a problem he has all by himself first. But every now and again, something will just get the better of him, like it did last night. And he'll ring up for advice, and then he'll go through this phase of, once he's rung you once, he will then ring an awful lot to ask questions. I think that's what he's doing right now. Bless him. He's a huge fan of The Walking Dead, and he absolutely loves The Walking Dead. He loves all the spin-off shows, Fear the Walking Dead, all that sort of stuff. He's really into it. But his favourite character is Daryl Dixon, the guy that carries the crossbow and stuff in the original Walking Dead. And last year I was able to find a life-size cardboard cutout of Daryl Dixon, with his crossbow, staring moodily off into the distance, and I got it him as a birthday present last year, and he loves it. He absolutely loves it. It made him so happy. To see the joy on his face was a picture, and he now has it attached to the back of his living room door. So when he has his living room door closed, he's got Daryl in the room with him. So when we're on the phone with each other, we sort of say goodbye. So yeah, bye Daryl. You have to say goodbye to Daryl. It's kind of funny. Right, let me just smooth down these edges, and then think we'll just leave it at that until tomorrow, when we'll tackle some of the greenery. I'm leaving this texture quite rough because the bark of the tree is quite rough, so I don't mind if there's little lighter bits showing through on there, because it's quite a snowy scene anyway, so it's just going to look like this snow sat on it, but that will do for now. Right, okay, so just move that around so you can see it a little bit. So there we go. So thank you very much for joining me today, guys. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. It really feels weird to be starting the background of this picture. I'm not great at backgrounds, but we will see how we go. I have no idea how I'm going to tackle all this greenery and the trees because I have not practiced it. But what the heck? Let's see what we can do. And we'll see what it turns out like. It's an experiment, and it's about stretching myself as an artist and seeing whether I can do this or not. But I may very well ruin the picture. Honestly, I may very well ruin the picture, but we will see. We will see, because the trees in the background compared to the wolves are quite blurred, so I'm trying to add detail where there isn't always detail. So we shall just see. But thanks for joining me today, guys. Really appreciate it. I hope you all have a lovely day, and I will see you all here tomorrow morning. So have a good day, guys. Take care. Bye.